Okay, so today we're playing with BMWs, and I haven't been in a BMW for a few months now, and obviously I'm a lifelong BMW fan, but I'm a little horrified at some of the things that are coming out of BMW lately, like this ugly thing, and this hideous thing, and this monstrosity. Yes, that is a BMW, but most of all, if you remember last year, I got to drive the new BMW, the F90 BMW M5, which is what I'm driving today, and I made some comments that really upset some people. Don't get me wrong, these things are amazing. They're a technological marvel. 600 horsepower that is so easy to drive, so comfortable. You can jump to light speed just by putting your foot down. They are something else. However, as I said in that previous video, in the stock form, they're a little bit tame. That is, they really don't get your heart racing. Apart from the sheer acceleration, everything else is so muted that they became a little bit boring to drive. Maybe boring's too strong a word, but a little bit light compared to previous M5s, which if you drive any of the old M5s, particularly the E39, or even all the way back to the E24, they had a real substance to them. Even if they weren't that fast, they've really got your blood churning, they really got the adrenaline up because of how visceral they were. And some of that has been taken away in these modern BMWs. So today I've got 3 BMW M5 guys turn up at my house to kneecap me and go, how dare you call our cars boring, and show me that their cars can be very exciting with just a few little modifications. And so this first car I'm driving today is Ricky's car, which is in gorgeous frozen red, and he's done a lot of exhaust modifications and suspension modifications, and it completely transforms this car. Let me put it into MDM mode. Oh wow. Yes, being able to hear that exhaust and feel a little bit more road texture completely transforms the experience of driving this. It's no longer the pussycat that I drove last year. This car really gets my adrenaline pumping. The engine is stock, so it's still the same 600 odd horsepower, which frankly I think is more than enough. But yeah, the exhaust changes and the suspension changes. Like, I was worried that this was going to be, this is lowered and this looks lowered. The stance of this car from the outside looks kind of extreme to me. It looks fantastic, but I thought this was going to be an uncomfortable vehicle to drive, which so often when you lower a car is. But no, this is still extremely comfortable. It's just made to come alive because now I can feel a bit of road and I mostly can hear the engine. But of course, the downside of exhaust modifications is that they can become a little droney when you don't want them to be loud. So if I turn the exhaust back off on this car, now, surprisingly, it becomes a regular M5 again. It's not droning in my ears. I can drive along at 80 miles an hour on the highway, and it's a nice, quiet M5 again. So this modification is done right. It's very rare to see this with exhaust modifications, particularly on modern BMWs, which so often people go overboard. Sounds great when you're wanting to be a lunatic, but not so great when you're just wanting to cruise, go through your neighborhood where there's kids and so forth, and not attract a lot of attention to yourself. Okay, into the second M5 of the day. This is a competition package model, even though the other two have competition package written on them. This one's the only one that genuinely is a competition package. So this comes with all the standard competition package guff. You get the slightly lowered, stiffer engine mounts, bits and pieces. This car, however, has an engine tune and it has downpipe changes. So it is a little louder than standard, but a lot more powerful than standard. Slip it into sport mode here. So theoretically this is producing some 650 horsepower to the wheels. Yeah, It's got some grunt to it. She no Toyota Corolla, this car. So what's interesting about tuning these modern BMWs is that it can be a little bit, I'm not sure, risky is the right word, but it can cause problems. Like I've driven obviously on my channel a few tuned BMWs, the M4s and the M3s. And what's been true of all those cars is they've always had some sort of fault light come up. And this car here, as was with Ricky's car before, has an engine check light on. Now Ed, who owns this car, assures me it's got nothing to do with the tune, it's just something that goes on with these M5s. So he says this car has been completely reliable with the tune. So I believe that to be true. I believe that the M5s are a lot more tunable than the M3 and the M4s. Obviously it's a larger engine, so it can take a little bit more of a beating. Another interesting thing about this tune is that the sports displays have changed. Normally you don't see the sport display reflecting the actual power of the car, and I'm not sure that it is still, but at least the sport display is now showing 800 horsepower as the top horsepower, which is interesting. But yes, this car doesn't have the full exhaust change, so it sounds a lot more stock. So yes, the sound isn't as extreme as the previous M5, but the power it's almost scary at times. Yeah, this car gives me a much bigger adrenaline rush than the stock car does, that's for sure. The other big difference with this car, of course, being the competition pack. I absolutely love the competition packs on these M cars. It makes such a big difference. It's almost like they realize some of the mistakes they've made and they fix them in the competition packs. Hear that exhaust? Waking the neighbours. The combination of the competition pack and the tune in this car does make it come alive. It is a lot more fun, a lot more exhilarating than the stock car that I drove last year. Okay, third beast of the day. This is the black one. This is Rob's one. Okay, so as you can hear, I had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction with my microphone on this third car, so I'll pick this up with a voiceover so you can still hear my sparkly voice. So this third car is Rob's car, also a 2018 non-competition pack. It has height adjustable suspension, a more aggressive stage 1 tune, and larger 3.5 inch downpipes. Oh, and a bit of a body kit up the front to make it even faster. Actually, even the back seats have been removed from this car to make it the fastest M5 of the day. Even if William isn't impressed with the comfort, it is a fast car. And it's black. Black cars are always faster, right? Oh shit! Okay, yeah, so the tune's noticeable. Yeah, this is definitely the fastest of the three. Whoa, whoa there, big fella. Yeah. She's rearing to go. She's supercar performance. Shit. Fast, yes. I think closing on 700 horsepower at the wheels, but surprisingly still not a handful. You know, BMW have done a great job in keeping these cars easy to drive, even though they have enormous amounts of power. This car is also the only car without a check engine light. The suspension is the firmest and best handling of the three as well. So which one would I have? Well, I would take the best from each car. The sound of the second and third car were louder due to the downpipe changes, but not much of an improvement on the stock sound. The first car with the AWE exhaust was just amazing, so I would take the red car's sound. Second, I just love how much more sorted and together the competition car felt to drive, so I'd take that car's stock configuration, the competition pack. Third car has the best handling of the group, so I would take that handling pack or the modifications done to it. And finally, while each car got progressively faster and the tunes were all definitely effective, Even the stock motor was more than powerful enough for my taste, but I know everybody wants more and more power, so one of the stage 1 tunes would be just fine to satisfy most people. It is a bit of a shame that in stock form the F90 M5 isn't a little more engaging to drive, but I guess BMW are making these cars to be designed more as a high-speed comfort cruiser, so maybe that's why BMW have made them the way they are. A few tweaks here and there and you can really unlock the true nature of the beast. Anyway, I wanted to thank Ricky, Ed, Rob for letting me drive their highway hunters, the beasts of the highway. Yeah, certainly opened my eyes to what can be achieved with a few little tweaks on these cars. Thank you guys, I'll see you in the next video. And if you're wondering where to acquire the ridiculous t-shirts that I wear in my videos, they're all here in my store, all your favorites, including offensive stamps and my rapid dry towels as well. Yes, Nick Murray t-shirts, being a little inappropriate since 2016.